Okay, everyone. So while I was sifting through everything, I kind of sifted through some of my notes, and there were some things that I hadn't quite touched on in previous things that I had started. So I figured I'd go back to some of that. So it's just Quake source ports for today. Oh, I mean, of course, Quake is like a really old game. It's just, you know, one of those things. Really difficult to play, I know, being an old game, but there's so many source ports for it that it kinda is what it's kind of like Doom in that respect. You're just have a lot of options how you can play it because of the sheer number of options that you have. So kind of one of the first ones, kind of the more popular one that I hear a lot about whenever I'm looking around for stuff is Quake Spasm. So Quake Spasm's kind of the more popular one, and then there are forks of Quake Spasm as well, with like Vulkan having been out. So this is Quake Spasm's main site. So not exactly sure on what Quake Spasm's main features are, but it is one of the source ports that supports multiplayer pretty easily. And then its fork, VK Quake, actually runs on Vulkan, obviously. I want to say that they can network with each other pretty well, because I would think they would be under the same code base for multiplayer stuff. But basically, if you're looking for something that can run on Vulkan, then VK Quake, but Quake Spasm's pretty standard for everything for the most part. So what source port I have up right now is VK Quake, and so it's basically got some of your standard options basically. I had to mess with the controls a little bit. First time you're playing it, you might have to mess with the controls and fix those so that they feel more comfortable for you. But there are lots of options though that you can take advantage of. So I don't know. I just kind of like that classic filter, so you get all the nice pixels and everything in it. But you can sit here and flip through various effects and all. So that's basically the one you're probably going to use the most. But yeah, there are, if I can pull up the right one. The other option that you have is Easy Quake. And again, this is for like the classic Quake, not Quake 2. It supports multiplayer as well, so Quake World, blah, blah, blah. I believe, if I remember correctly, it was actually built around the idea of running on Quake World so that you can. It's built for multiplayer. Oh. But yeah, that one is another option. And yeah, it runs on Nquake, so if you're looking for something classic to play, that's a good one. Quake Spasm, I think. VK Quake or Quake Spasm, for the most part, will do you pretty well. And it runs really well in single player, so if you get some mods and stuff, it's really easy to run it that way. There is a manual here somewhere for like your options. So like for VK Quake, they've got options and whatnot. So you can obviously get the shareware version. Oh. Let's see. Somewhere in here it was. Somewhere they've got the flags for the documentation for the flags that you can run to run the mods and everything. So if you have a mod, if you have a full pack that you want to play with that is like completely different, there's that option. I don't recall exactly what the flags are for that, but for some cases you might want to run something like Copper Quake, which is basically Quake 1 but with a few balancing fixes, a number of balancing fixes and bug fixes. But you can run that in Quake Spasm VK Quake pretty easily. Oh, these ones are all cross-platform, so no matter what operating system you're running, you're pretty much going to be able to run it. Unless you've got, like, for some reason they didn't compile the binary. Which I really doubt. Well, yeah. So, again, they've got Win32 and Win64. So I really doubt you're not going to be able to play it. Because they've got it for a good number of architectures, and you can compile it for any other numbers of architectures yourself too from source. But so we can, let's see, if we go to this one, blah. Oh, wow. But yeah, there's a whole hierarchy of it, but this is just mostly kind of the main ones. And then, I mean, there's some that might want to play Quake 2 out there, I know. So, one of the larger engines that I found for Quake 2 is Yamagi. There are some others out there like Quake, which is built on Java. Yeah, grain of salt there. But Yamagi Quake 2 has run pretty decently for quite a while. There is a VK Quake 2 as well. So if I pull that up right here. Yeah. It's Quake 2, so... And again, there are some... That's weird. There are some different flags you can run to run different mods as well. So... Huh, that's weird. It's not working. But Yamagi has that set up already for the most part. The links for it that'll run it automatically. Or the desktop files, maybe, is a better word. But yeah, Yamagi's kind of a bit smoother in the way it does things. So obviously so the Quake 2 source ports I haven't dove too heavily into because I've mostly been playing with Yamagi and been pretty happy. Oh. But obviously, for VK Quake and the like, there is a way that you can enable the soundtrack to play in the background, like it is right now for Quake 2. But it's not something I've worried too heavily about, and considering my time constraints right now, yeah, not been too worried. But yeah, for the most part, that's kind of the options that you have that are the main ones. So if you don't have Quake or Quake 2, a good option is GOG. And they've basically got both of them here. Oh, it's pretty easy to pick up. Quake 2 and Quake both come with all of the expansions as well. So for a total of $20, you can basically have Quake and Quake 2. And I believe you have to buy it extra on Steam as well. So if we go and look, no, wrong one. If I can spell, that would be nice. So let's see, Quake 2. If we look at that one, so we see it's $5 right off the get-go. So yeah, you have to buy the Quake 2 mission pack is separate from... You do get Quake 3 on top of it looks like, though, if you buy the Quake collection here. And all you have to do is... So, the setup for the source ports is actually pretty easy. They basically have a folder somewhere in your home directory. It'll say in each of their respective documentations. But you just copy your game files over into the folder, and then from there you can run the games with the proper flags. It'll tell you what you need to do in the documentation, like I mentioned, but you'll just copy it all over. So like you can even install your third-party pack. So I've got Copper here, and then a number of other ones. But it's pretty simple to install, and then once you're done with that, you can even get away with uninstalling the game from Steam because you've got the game files themselves copied over somewhere else. So if you are looking for that nice old style gaming experience and just want to relive it all, then that's a really good option for you. I would highly recommend it, and it will run pretty decently on your system, I'm pretty sure, even if it is for the most part a toaster. If you like Quake or you think it's just the worst thing ever, let me know, comment, join the Discord, that kind of thing. If you like what I do, all those links are down in the description. I will see you all later.